Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, my dear students, for secondary stage. I'm very happy to be with you today. Today, inshallah, we are going to start Unit 7, Lesson 3, Street Scenes. This is Lesson 3, Street Scenes. What are the scenes? The scenes are the places or the views that you can watch in a street. Here you have the difference between big buildings in big cities, for example, and some small houses maybe in villages. And I think that we have made this comparison before. Between living in the countryside and in big cities. In pairs or groups, compare the two scenes above. What are the similarities and differences between them? You will listen to two people talking about this is track 38, and I would like you to go back again to this track. Okay, you have to listen to it first and then decide which of the areas in the photographs they live and list the things in the area they mention. Compare your answers in pairs. For example, we have here the speakers are talking about the area shown in the second photograph because they mention the apartments, the houses that used to be there, seeing neighbors, kids playing in the street, the play area, the supermarket, and the gardens. So the speakers are talking about the area shown in photograph, the second photograph or photograph number 2. Okay, listen to the conversation again, and after listening for the second time, I want you to stress on this exercise. Okay, you have here to stress in some certain pieces of information like choosing true or false. The left sometimes breaks down. This is true. Children played in the street when there were houses. This is true also. There is a lot of graffiti in the apartments. It's not mentioned. Okay, you don't meet many people in the apartment building. This is true. Number 5, there were lots of shops on the old street. Not mentioned. Okay, the old houses had small gardens. Yes, the play area at the apartments isn't very nice. Yes, the apartments have only one bedroom each. It's not mentioned. Now let's go to this point of grammar, which is very easy, and we have also discussed it before in the first semester, using or dealing with used to and would. The difference between used to and would. Used to, we use used to when there is something that happened in the past, that you used to do in the past, but you no longer do it right now. For example, when you say that I used to play in the street when I was young, this means that you don't play in the street right now. It was a habit for you in the past. Look at the examples from 1 to 3 from the conversation in exercise 1. Choose the correct words to complete the explanations. Number 1, I used to see my neighbors almost every day. This refers to as you can see, this is a habit in the past. I used to see my neighbors, so now I don't see my neighbors. Okay, so this is a habit in the past. We can replace used to with would here because, as you know, that used to is used for both habits and states in the past, but would is used with past habits only. I can't use would with past facts or facts in the past. The kids would always play in the street except in winter. This refers to a habit in the past. We can replace would with used to, because also this is a habit in the past. I used to have a nice garden. This refers to a state in the past. It's not a habit. So in this case, we can't replace used to with would, because we can't use would with past facts or facts in the past. In each sentence, decide if it is possible to use either would or used to or only used to. Again, we use would with past facts. With past habits in the past, but used to can be used for both past habits and facts. At my grandma's house, we used to or would eat a lot of cake. So here we use used to, and we can also use would because this is a fact. This is a habit in the past, okay? We used to or would live in an apartment. So we used to. Number 3, when we were children, we used to go swimming every weekend. So we can use used to and would here in number 3. Number 4, Grandpa used to or would walk down the street. Used to walk down the street every evening and say hello to everyone. We also can use both of them here. Did Mrs. Solano used to or would Mrs. Solano belong to the local residents association? Yes. Did Mrs. Solano used to use, and take care of use here because we started with did at the beginning of this question, so we can't use used. Now, speaking and reading, read the article and match the photograph to one of the photographs. Which country was the photograph taken in? Guess the names of the other 3 places in the article. The photograph matches, this is before we start reading, the photograph matches paragraph 3. The photograph was taken in Saudi Arabia, since the paragraph mentions Islamic sites like Masjid al-Haram, Cairo, Egypt, India, New York, USA, so it matches Saudi Arabia, as you can see. Imagine you are going to on holiday to one of the places in the article in pairs. Discuss what you could do in each of the countries. Decide which country you would like to visit most. City scenes. Speaking and writing, imagine you have been asked to write a paragraph for a tourist brochure describing a typical street in your town or city. In pairs, discuss these questions. Who is going to read what you write? Local people or young people or tourists? What style of writing are you going to use? Very formal style or an informative style or an academic style? Paragraph 1. Many people think that Khan al-Khalili is one of the most interesting areas in this ancient cosmopolitan city. It is a famous souk where visitors can buy clothes, spices and souvenirs, or just sit and drink mint tea and strong Arabic coffee in one of the traditional cafes. Of course, I know that most of you are familiar with Khan al-Khalili because Khan al-Khalili is a very famous souk in Cairo, Egypt. Number 2, many people in this country speak English as a first or second language, so you can practice your speaking skills here. It's home to ancient palaces such as the Taj Mahal, of course, it is India, as you can know, as well as natural features such as high mountains. Many of these countries' cities are crowded with buses, bicycles, and rickshaws. I think that rickshaws is like tuk-tuk, if you are familiar with the word tuk-tuk in Egypt. So this is Cairo, number 1. Number 2 is India. Number 3, in this country there is a large desert. It's also famous for its petroleum industry. The country has strong Islamic tradition and is home to many wonderful Islamic sites such as Masjid al-Haram. Of course, this is Saudi Arabia. This city has such tall buildings that the sun is blocked out from the streets. The Empire State Building, which used to be the tallest in the world, has 102 floors. Most activity in the winter is inside or underground because the extreme cold. This is New York. So who is going to read what you write? Maybe tourists. What style of writing are you going to use? The informative style. Okay? The informative style. When you tell someone about some information, you tell someone about information about a certain place in a certain country. What might you see? In pairs, make notes for the answer. In pairs, make notes to answer these questions. What might you see? What might people be doing? What kind of buildings might you find? What did the area used to be like? How might you feel looking at the street scene? So now you have to write your paragraph, look at the article for more ideas. When you have finished, swap and compare paragraphs with a partner. So you're supposed to write a paragraph about a certain place, maybe in Saudi Arabia or outside Saudi Arabia, using the informative technique in writing. You can use these guiding questions. Thank you so much. Okay, this is the end of our lesson today. It was Mr. Hatim with you. Very happy to be with you again and again and again. Thanks very much.